good job of capturing that traffic and turning it into leads. Okay. Hole number 2 is lost leads or lost prospects. So these are actually people, you have their contact information. They're a lead. They responded to your marketing or to your message in some way. How are you doing in following up with them? Typically, 10 to 20% of these types of people are hot and ready to go, and we focus our efforts on those and we close them. Then when it comes time to follow up with the other leads, maybe it's that stack of business cards that you brought home from the networking event or some people who filled out forms on your website. Well, when you finally get around to following up with them, maybe it's too late. Maybe they already bought from someone else, or maybe you can't get a hold of them now, or maybe you just kind of feel dumb because it's been a month since you talked to them and you don't follow up with them. And this has a very terrible effect on small businesses. I'll show you some data here in just a minute. But you should be asking yourself, what about the rest of these people? What about the 90% of people that didn't buy right now? Some studies show that about 67% of people who respond to an advertisement will purchase within 1 year. And so if you're not following up with them, you're missing out on all of that potential business. So here's that study I was mentioning. If you look at the top row there, I'll explain what's going on. The top row shows that amongst companies that have sales reps that make follow-up phone calls, 48% of companies out there make one follow-up phone call, and that's where 2% of the deals actually close. And you can see the trend down the line, get down to the bottom row, and you can see that only 10% of companies make 5 or more follow-up phone calls, but that's where more than 80% of the business actually closes. This is astounding, right? So if you're the type of person where you make a follow-up phone call, and you make a second, and you make a third, and you make a fourth, you think you're doing great, and you're actually doing much better than the average. But the truth is, if you don't continue to follow up, you're missing out on the majority of the business that actually happens out there. And so you should be asking yourself, how much business are we just dumping into hole number 2? How much work are we doing? How much are we spending to drive traffic, to capture leads, to bring them into our funnel, only for them to just flush out the bottom? Hole number 3 is lost customers. And this is one that most people don't think about often. But your customers come, they buy from you, and there's usually an opportunity for them to buy again, to be repeat customers, or to drive referrals, or those types of things. And so one study shows that you lose 68% of customers because of indifference. Basically what this means is when it came time for them to buy again, they didn't buy from you because they weren't wowed. They went and bought from a competitor because you gave them no reason to come back. And this is common. This isn't that you're necessarily doing anything drastically wrong in your business. This is a common mistake. You didn't give them a reason to come back. And so this needs to be a focus to plug this hole and capture more of the potential revenue that is in your business. Are your customers buying more? Are they coming back? Are they giving referrals? This is a major hole and a major problem for most small businesses. So I'm going to launch a poll through GoToWebinar here. Again, just trying to make this a little more interactive. I can't see you. You can't see me. Half of you are probably checking email right now, so come back and focus. We're going to get to some really important stuff here that you're going to want to pay attention to in your business. So let's launch this poll. Ask yourselves, if you were able to plug those 3 holes, if you were able to capture more of the traffic that comes to your site, if you were able to convert more of the leads that you get because you follow up with them better, and if you were able to get your customers to buy more from you because they're loyal, happy customers, and they always come back to you, how much more additional revenue would you bring into your business? Okay, so I'll leave this poll open for just a moment. We'll get everyone's responses. This is a really important question you should be asking yourself every day. How much potential revenue am I missing out on, and how do I go capture it? This is the core of your marketing plan. We can't build a marketing plan unless you know what you're going after, right? We've got your high-level goal. We know what your dream is. Maybe it's that boat. Maybe it's spend time with your friends and family. But now we've got to break that down into what is required for me to achieve my dream. Is it $100,000 in the bank? Is it $1 million in my investment account? Is it that I need $50,000 to go buy this boat? What is it that you need? And then as soon as you can start tying your monthly revenue to that number, now you've got something you can work towards. So how much potential revenue are you missing out on because of these 3 holes in your business? All right, a handful of you still haven't responded. We'll give you 10 more seconds to jump in there and give us your responses. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this poll, and I'll share the results with you. This is actually astounding. We cater to businesses that are 2 to 25 employees and very typical small businesses. And when I show you these results, you might be shocked. 14% of you say that you're missing out on $1,000 a month. 23% of you are missing out on $5,000 a month. 22% $10,000 a month. And a whopping 41% of you guys are missing out on $25,000 a month or more. That's a lot of lost opportunity. For a small business, for your typical small business, that's a lot of money. Imagine what you could do in your life and in your business with that additional revenue. How much more advertising could you do to grow your business faster? How much more quickly could you get to your goal, to your dream, if you had that additional $25,000 a month coming into your business? Let's talk about how we capture that lost opportunity. So the holes in your funnel really are a result of focusing on tools and tactics, like getting traffic, while ignoring that strategy. Okay, so here at Infusionsoft, we've been doing this for many years. We've worked with thousands upon thousands of small businesses, and we've developed a framework for developing your marketing plan. We call it a marketing automation plan. We want to automate as much of the process as possible so that you're not tied to the business, so you don't become a slave to the business. But we call this framework the perfect customer life cycle. You'll notice when you look at the perfect customer life cycle that there are 7 stages: attract traffic, capture leads, nurture prospects, convert sales, deliver and satisfy, upsell customers, and get referrals. And when you look at any of these individual stages, you'll realize that they're nothing revolutionary. You know you're supposed to attract traffic. You know you need to convert leads, and you know you need to get referrals. These are all things that you know. But when you start building a plan, a comprehensive plan, that helps you to deliver the perfect customer experience for every customer that comes through the door, through each of these stages, that becomes extremely powerful. And it helps you highlight where the holes are in your business and helps you know exactly how to plug those holes so that you can capture that $25,000 a month or more in revenue that you're missing out on. So let me show you what this looks like. Every customer of Infusionsoft gets a chance to sit down with one of our success coaches, and they have this discussion where the success coach is going to first analyze their business and discover, what are you doing right now? How are you currently generating interest? How are you currently converting sales? How are you upselling? How are you cross-selling? How are you getting referrals? They're going to document all of that stuff, and then they're going to help you identify the opportunities. Where are the holes? Where's the low-hanging fruit? What hole can we plug very easily to make a huge impact in your business? And they're going to help you set some goals with regards to those opportunities. And then they help you map out a marketing automation plan, or a map, where you define exactly how you're going to treat every customer through every stage of the process. And then you can start plugging in tools to deliver on that experience. I'm going to show you some real-life examples of 2 different businesses, a product-based business, a retail business, and a service-based business in just a moment. So we'll get into these types of maps in more detail. But you all have a handout where you can print a template of this out and start mapping out your own processes. So as we're doing this, please print that out, have it in front of you, and be brainstorming. You'll get ideas. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of ideas through each of these stages of things that you could be doing to be plugging these holes and capturing the lost opportunity in your business. And then when I show you the maps of these other businesses, you're going to want to jot down some ideas. So get that out. Also, the other pages of the handout are going through each of the stages as well, and they're asking you questions about what you can be doing in each of the stages of the perfect customer life cycle. I'm not going to be referring to the handout much, but I want you to have it in front of you so that you're taking notes on ideas that you have for your particular business. So back to your goals. Whether it's make more money or spend more time with family and friends or build a Fortune 500 business or retire early or any of those things, I want you to write these down on the paper as well, right? I think we wrote down your big dream, but anything associated with that, write it down. Let's get it crystal clear as we go through these strategies. So I'm going to go through strategies related to each of the 7 stages of the perfect customer life cycle to help you kind of open up your mind and think of new ways that you can be plugging the holes in your business, therefore building a solid marketing plan that spans across the whole business and plugs those holes. So the internet has taught us, build it and they will not come, right? How many of you have done a bunch of work to get your website up and running, you launch it, and no one shows up, right? That's typical. That's okay. So we know now that we need to actually do some stuff to drive traffic. Part of that starts with killer content. Whether it's blog posts or tools or videos on your website, you got to have something there that people are interested in that brings them back. Social media is a great free way to drive traffic to your website. Again, you probably need to go find where your specific target market hangs out. What about partners? How many of you have strategically sat down and said, hey, who out there has aggregated my target market in a particular area that I can go partner up with and do some cross-promotion? Or maybe I pay them a commission to drive their group of people over to my business. Referrals, of course, we mentioned already. You should be thinking very strategically about how do we need to create a customer experience that gets people coming out at the end where they're just raving about us, and then how do we systematize the process of driving referrals. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a moment because that's one of the stages of the perfect customer life cycle. And then, of course, advertising. How can we advertise more effectively? That all comes down to understanding, again, your target demographic, the message they respond to, the way that you solve their pain, and how do you talk to that. Okay, lead capture strategies. Most people are familiar with the traffic attraction strategies because that's what marketing plans tend to focus on. But lead capture is where a lot of people drop the ball. You drive a lot of your traffic to your site, but you don't capture them all. Sign up for our newsletter is kind of the fallback. That's what most people do. Hey, sign up for our newsletter. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not a lead capture strategy. For one, people are not necessarily interested in your newsletter. Some people are, and some people are going to sign up, but that's not why they are looking at your site. They're not looking at your site to try and sign up for your newsletter. They're looking at your site to solve a problem that they have in either their personal life or in their business. And so you need to put some lead magnets out there that help them solve that problem. Free reports and ebooks are common ways to do this. Hey, fill out the form. We'll give you this free report on 3 ways to do X, Y, Z. 3 ways to solve your particular problem. Now, free reports and ebooks are, in my opinion, becoming fairly overused. We use them a ton. And so there are other creative ways that you can be doing this as well. Access to video, to audio, podcast, premium content. Use a membership site that they have to fill out a form to get access to. Request a quote is actually a very simple way for many service businesses to do this. One of the things that's on people's mind when they're looking at different options is, how much does this thing cost? And that's like the primary question they want answered before they dig in a little bit further. And so if you can deliver them a quote, people are often willing to fill out a form for that. What about surveys, polls, contests, drawings, all these different types of things? Offers and coupons are great ways. If you have a commodity product, usually you don't have to do a whole lot of education. You don't have to do a whole lot of follow-up with these people. They already know about your product. They know that they need to buy it. They're just looking for the best deal out there. So offers and coupons, fill out the form to get sent regular coupons is a great way to capture leads. Live events, webinars like we're doing today, teleseminars are great ways as well to capture leads. Once you capture those leads, again, here's hole number 2. How do we follow up with them? How do we nurture these leads so that when it comes time for them to buy, they choose us, right? We can't force people to buy when they're not ready. There's no sense trying to shove it down their throat. And so you want to develop a strategy for following up with these people, building a relationship with them, nurturing them, providing value so that when the time is right, they know, hey, I'm going to go to this particular company because they are the experts in this field. They've been providing me this value. They've been sending me information. I know their names. They're friends of mine now. I'm going to buy from them, right? So many businesses use autoresponders for this. A typical email autoresponder like Aweber or Constant Contact, these are great solutions for starting out, but they also tend to be robotic. You put someone into an autoresponder sequence, and they're going to get all of those emails no matter what, right? Your prospects don't want to be treated like robots, so you need to figure out ways to adapt the email messaging to those people's needs and to their responses and to their behavior. So what you can do is, instead of just using one typical autoresponder, you can build out different autoresponder sequences. So one autoresponder that talks to new leads. Once they respond to that, you put them in the hot lead sequence.